Hey friends, Ashley here with Ophire. I'm bringing you a brand new free pattern, crochet pattern. It is the diamond laced wall hanging. Can you see it? It's so big. Well, this is a big example of what I made. We're going to be making a smaller example for the sake of this video. So I'm excited to jump into this pattern with you guys. So let's go. So to get started, you're going to need a 4mm hook, and we're going to be using the yellow topaz today. But I would suggest using the hook size that your yarn calls for. We're using a DK weight indie dyed yarn. I've had this in my stash for a while, so I'm not quite sure who the dyer is, but I thought it'd be perfect for this little speckly, colorful white moment. Alright, to get started, we are going to make slip knot and chain 3. I would suggest if you're doing a larger yarn to only chain 2, and you may need an additional chain if you're using a smaller yarn. Just use what works best for this base chain. Now you'll slip stitch to the first chain, and then we're going to go ahead and chain 6 here. Then you're going to go ahead and work a treble crochet, so make sure you wrap your yarn over twice. And these are going to be in US terms. You're going to make another treble crochet, sorry. And now work 2 double crochets in the same space here. And then we're going to chain 1 and work the same in reverse. So 2 double crochets, 2 treble crochets, Now continuing on our first row, we're going to work 3 chains, and then you're going to repeat the same steps. 2 treble crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. Alright, to finish things off on this row, you're going to work a treble crochet, and the chain 6 that we started with is going to count as 1 treble crochet and then the chain 3. And so to finish, once you worked your final treble crochet, you're going to slip stitch in the 3rd chain to finish off row 1. Alright, so that's completed row 1. So this is how your base should look like. Now going on to row number 2, you are going to chain 6 again. And then we're going to work 2 double crochets in the chain space. We won't be working any more treble crochets. That will only be for row 1. So work 2 double crochets in that chain space from the previous row. And then it's kind of easy to miss, but you want to make sure that you're not skipping this first stitch here. It can kind of get covered when you work your stitches, but you're going to work 4 double crochets until you get to the chain 1 space from the previous row. And when you get to the chain 1 space, you're going to work 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet in the same space. And again, make sure you're not skipping this first stitch next to your chain space. It can easily get missed. So work 4 double crochets until you get to the next point of the diamond. And in this chain 3 space, we're going to work 2 double crochets chain 3, and 2 more double crochets, all in the same space. And finishing up this row, you just want to repeat the same steps on the other side of your diamond. So you'll work 4 double crochets, and then in the chain space, work 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 more double crochet, and then work 4 double crochets to finish off the row, and I will meet you at the end. Now to finish off this row, you're going to work a double crochet in the same space as the chain 6 space. It's not going to seem right, but trust the process. That's where it goes. Then after that, you're going to work a double crochet around this space here that has row 1 and row 2. So you're going to do it around these chains from the previous 2 rows. And this, I feel like, just makes it look a little more finished. There's like a weird spot that ends up if you put it in the wrong spot. And then slip stitch on the 3rd chain from the previous row. And that finishes off row number 2. Now, if you wanted to have smaller diamonds, you could stop here. But for the sake of this pattern, I did 1 more row. You could do even more rows than that if you'd like bigger diamonds. For row 3, you'll just go ahead and repeat the same steps. You'll work your chain 6, 2 double crochets, and then you'll work the 7 double crochets until you get to the chain 2 space. Work 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 more double crochet in the same space, and then work the 7 double crochets until you get to the chain 3 space, and then repeat the same. So you just want to match everything from one side to the other. And that's it. I made a total of 6 diamonds for this pattern. For my larger size one, I made a total of 21. So you'll just want to count out if you have an even number of, I'll show you here in a minute, but when you lay out your diamonds and everything, depending on how many you start with at the top is going to determine how many you need. So for example, for this smaller pattern, I did 3 at the top, and so it decreases on basically every row. So let me show you that here in a minute. But basically, if you have an odd number on the top row, you're going to need an even number to finish the wall hanging. If you have an even number that you start with on the top row, you're going to have an odd number of diamonds you'll need. Hopefully that's not confusing. So here you can see I just laid out my 3 on the top row for the wall hanging, and so the next row down will get 2, and the next row down will have 1. So that's a total of 6. So that's kind of how you want to figure out how many you would like based off of how big or small you would like the wall hanging. Now to seam these together, I just started with the top and lined them up with the top row and middle row and seamed from one edge to the other. So starting right here, you'll do like a zigzag seam here to get all edges. You want to make sure that each point of the diamond lines up. I did like a mattress stitch. You can use whatever stitch you'd like. It's a little bit of a raised stitch here, but if you seam it after you're finished, it should lay a little bit flatter. And to finish things off, you just want to add the tassels to all the edges, and you are all finished. To attach it to the dowel, I recommend getting the dowel I got is a little bit thin. It's 3/16, but it's all I had. So I would recommend getting a 2-foot or bigger dowel, but honestly, it's up to your preference and what you like. I had this one, but it's too short and too big in diameter. So we're just going to use a smaller one. So to attach your wall hanging to the dowel, you just need to cut one piece for each point of the diamond and tie it to the dowel. Then you can just trim your pieces here on the ties. You can either add a string to hang it up, or you can just use like a tack to hold up the dowel end, and that's all you need, and that's all finished. Thanks for following along. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think of this pattern, or if you made it. Always tag us in socials. We love to see what you guys make.